Greetings all, this is Dickie Adams with Pocketnow.com. And recently the HTC Vivid from AT&T was upgraded to Sense 3.6 along with Ice Cream Sandwich. So in this video we're going to take a closer look at that new interface and operating system and let you know what we think. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. The first thing you'll notice in the 3.6 HTC Sense is the lack of the curved start bar down at the bottom. Instead, we've got something that looks a little more like the Ice Cream Sandwich launch bar. By default, we have the phone and the email and messaging camera down here, and those can be swapped out by tapping and dragging them away and adding new items in. If you leave an item blank, it will change that on the main lock screen here. As you can see, this item doesn't have an actual circle for itself anymore. If I drag that item back in, then it will appear again on the lock screen. Here, messaging reappeared. So then if we go back to over here to this side, you can see there's an new item here. We can actually add folders. Those folders can also be added to the start bar, although when you are at the lock screen, all you will see is the folder, and if you try to drag that to the ring, then what will happen is it will open up the folder instead of launching or allowing you to see what's in that folder to launch those applications. A neat function, and thankfully it's not that same horrible curved HTC Sense Bar that it used to be a part of this. Really, the new Sense is very quick. It scrolls around very quickly. If you tap the home button twice, you get the full view here from which you can swap back and forth between the individual pages. But you can also tap and hold edit and remove the screens around, or add the panels and remove panels, something that's a little different than the previous version. Also, if you tap and hold on the home screen now, you get the task manager, kind of easy swap card system that Ice Cream Sandwich presents. If we go in here to settings, which I had open before, and go to about phone, as you can see, we're running Android 4.03 and 3.6 for HTC Sense. The item you just saw previously there was a screen lock, and you can set this to use the face unlock. That's part of Ice Cream Sandwich, and it turns it into kind of a double unlock system. So you still have to run through the HTC Ring mode and then slide to unlock that, and then the face unlock will pop up just after that. Works just great. No problems. I didn't have any issues there. If you pull down from the notification menu, it's still split into two settings. What's new and different here is this little Wi-Fi connected to the network, and you can tap that and then go and see other networks that are available in the area to tap as well. The capacitive buttons have been maintained down here at the bottom. They still work. The app menu is pretty much the same. You still have your same buttons at the bottom, and it still scrolls vertically rather than horizontally, so no big surprises there. The phone is exactly the same, really no changes there. The browser has kind of some extra functionality. Let me show you that here. You now have a back button as part of that default menu, which is very useful. And then the view as desktop site has a new little checkbox that you can grab from the settings menu. There is a Beatsaudio option in the settings, but unfortunately, unless you have a pair of headphones plugged in, it doesn't automatically turn on. It doesn't seem to be activated necessarily by individual parts. And you can also see that while this menu has changed, you got the usage menu here. It looks a lot like the Ice Cream Sandwich, other than their little bit of skinning going on there. You can see a little more of the options, but they've got some strange names for like power instead of, which shows your battery level and battery use. Instead of the normal Ice Cream Sandwich wording. Apps and apps associations are something that's different for HTC as well. And then there's the button. This existed in the previous OS, but the AT&T software update is here as well. Not something that you normally would see an Ice Cream Sandwich in that way. Again, performance-wise, it's been very snappy. The Antutu Benchmark shows that it actually got a better score than the previous version did. You can also now, under settings, you can go into apps and actually disable the apps, some apps that have been already installed on the device by default. You can't remove necessarily those apps, those bloat, but you can disable it, which I appreciate that they didn't take out. If you want to personalize the home screen, you can see that under the settings. You can also tap and hold now on the main home screen, and then you can add widgets and apps, and then you've got your display and your some of the other functionality that most HTC Sense users are used to seeing. Really, in all, it's not a terrible upgrade. It does give a lot of the HTC Sense users the ability to kind of recognize their existing system, even with the widgets on the screen. It keeps everything relatively the same other than the start menu bar, which I appreciate being changed very much. The differences in ice cream sandwiches have really been hidden by the Sense layout, which I would rather see a more pure ice cream sandwich or like use of the Nova Launcher system. But HTC has made it very clear that they don't want to alienate or confuse their existing user base or those fanboys who really do like HTC Sense. The new version of HTC Sense 4.0 is supposed to change a lot of those features and functionality, but that's still a forthcoming release. That wraps up our overview of the HTC Sense 3.6 for the Vivid on AT&T. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.